This is The Process Shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and I've seen 0 Hour, a dramatic airplane thriller from 1957, directed by Hal Bartlett. It follows Ted Stryker, a wartime pilot whose squadron dies because of a decision he made in the heat of battle, resulting in long-term guilt and PTSD that affects his job opportunities and marriage. He finds one day that his wife is leaving him, taking their son with her. He manages to board their flight to plead his case, but their issues are soon overshadowed by a greater threat. The in-flight meal was contaminated, and passengers are becoming gravely ill. Worse, the two pilots have both become sick as well. Only one passenger on the flight has any experience piloting a plane, but can Ted save not only the passengers and crew, but his marriage as well? The short answer is yes. Spoilers, but still. The story is pretty simple in its design, and you could see a happy ending coming, no matter how much padding is in the movie. Speaking of which, there is quite a bit of padding, with few actual plot points to count, and a lot more method and process. As if the filmmakers wanted to try and make the movie educational or realistic. It doesn't bring enough to the table to mean anything, though. It really just cuts up the action, stretching it as thin as possible for the sake of tension and suspense. All it goes to show is how thin the story and characters already are, with relationships having no heft outside of simply existing, and personalities that could be summarized in 3 sentences at most. It also doesn't help that the deepest trait of any of the characters, that being Ted's PTSD, is apparently treated by others as if it's something he could simply move beyond so that he can get back to the rest of his life. Like, seriously, there are some times where he's shamed by others for feeling guilty. Beyond the flimsiness of the story, the technical details of 0 Hour are also subpar. Cinematography is flat, uninspired, and often repeats shots, with wider angles and long takes that do nothing to make the ongoing stakes feel like a looming threat that requires quick action. The same goes for editing. While some shots poke into Ted's state of mind as he flashes back to the war, the rest of the movie maintains a hands-off approach and lets scenes just play out in full before moving on to the next. Even segments that do employ cross-cutting feel slow and paced out, with any urgency in the moment going flat as they're dragged out longer and longer. The filmmakers try to make things feel heightened through music, but it's barely enough to distract you from how slowly everything else plays out. When you boil the movie down this way, it really does feel as though it was only made for the sake of putting something on the cinematic marketplace to fill seats and hopefully turn a profit. 0 Hour has little, if anything, going for it, though the most it has would be a sense of campiness and irony one might get out of watching it and analyzing it in hindsight. Even so, I think it's sufficient enough to say that this is a very lazy movie. Zero Hour, Hal Bartlett, 1957. 1 star. I don't recommend seeing it. At least not without knowing what you're in for. That's it for this review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. You know, come to think of it, this movie seems familiar. Can't say why though. Oh, also, this movie is sweaty. I mean, really sweaty. Like, it gets really, really sweaty. Lots of sweat. So much sweat. Lots and lots and lots.